Newton's method is an iterative process for finding zeros. Suppose I have a function f, and I know that it is positive at a point A and negative at a point B. Then I also know by the intermediate value theorem that there exists a point in here for which the function is 0. Now, the function can be very challenging to look at, and it may be very hard to find this 0 explicitly, but we can approximate it with the tangent line. So suppose we start at some point that is close to the 0, and we're going to call that x1, and I draw the tangent line at the curve at that point. That line is going to come and it is going to intersect the y-axis at some point. And hopefully it's closer to C than B was. Now, what is the equation of this tangent line? Well, you know that the equation of the line is going to be y minus f evaluated at x1, and that's going to equal the slope. Now it's the slope at x1 times x minus x1. So this is the tangent line approximation at this point. Let me solve this. Y is f prime at x1, so this is the slope, times x minus x1, plus the functional value at x1. Now, if I were to let y equal to 0, all right, this should show me that my x value is going to be x1 minus the functional value of x1 divided by, I don't like that, divided by f prime at x1. So from this first estimate, okay, of x1, I actually have just found an x2. All right. And while x2 is hopefully closer to C than B was, if I use x2 now as my starting off point and come down to the curve and then find a tangent line of my curve at this point, I will find another y-intercept that is hopefully closer to C than the even my first attempt. So let's try this one. Let me switch colors here. If I now have x2 is x1 minus f at x1 divided by f prime at x1. So if this is my second attempt, what would my third attempt be? What would my third point here be? Well, that's going to be x2 minus the functional value evaluated at x2 divided by f prime at x2. So repeating this iterative process is called Newton's method. Now here are some steps for doing Newton's method. The first thing you really need to show is that it's positive on one side and negative on the other side of C. And then make an initial estimate close. Here a graph will help. Oftentimes you'll be given it. Now find the next approximation. So for x1, it'll be your initial point minus f divided by f prime. And then you're going to keep going until xn minus xn plus 1 is within the desired accuracy. So you're just going to keep doing this until your x values agree close enough. And this iterative process, often it's very helpful. You must usually use a calculator.